Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
First of all, I would like to say Alhamdulillah because Allah subhanahu we could raise this place without problems and obstacles. And I would like to say salam and salam to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that takes us from the darkness to the light in faith and Islam. The Honorable my first supervisor, Dr. Yuliana SMO, my second supervisor, Mrs. Tia Januari MPD, and the old examiners, Mr. Rahmaningsih SPD MO, and Ms. Faridawati SPD MPD. Good morning, and thank you very much to give me this opportunity to present my research proposal and title, An Analysis of EFL Student Schemata in Sentence Building. Okay, we are going to this next screen. There are three chapters in this research proposal. The first one is introduction, the second is literature review, and the last is methodology. There are several sub-chapters in each chapter, and I will explain directly when I mention that. Okay, we are going to the first chapter, introduction. The first sub-chapter in introduction is background of the research and talk about the background. Sentence building is one of the writing aspects, and writing is one of the productive English skills that EFL students have to master. However, until now we still face many problems in writing, and according to Chesley and Hickman, in 1987, one of the factors in writing problems is lack of schemata. There are numerous researchers that have done about schemata in writing ability, and two of them are conducted by Sun in 2014 and King in 2016. In their research, they both conclude that schemata is really important in writing because students can do writing without schemata, and by defining schemata, students can improve their writing ability. But from the three types of schemata, Kim believes that a student could activate content schemata and also formal schemata without enough linguistic schemata. And it's also added by Harvey in 2020, who believed that the level of linguistic schemata owned by one student with another student is different. However, even though those researchers state about how important linguistic schemata in writing ability, actually they didn't research specifically about it. So that's why I propose this research and analysis of EFL student schemata in sentence building, which focus on linguistic schemata. Okay, now we are going to the next chapter, research question. Considering to the background, I have two questions in this research. The first one is, what are the causes of the differences of student linguistic schemata, and how do students' linguistic schemata affect the students' writing ability in sentence building? For the objective of the research, of course, to answer this research question, and for the significance of the research, I hope this research can give a significance to three groups of people. The first one is for the teacher. I hope this research can give a significance, like a teacher can identify the student needs and then prepare a more effective writing class. And for the students, I hope this research can make students find out their flaws and their problem and also the solution. And for the last groups is future researchers. I hope this research can be used as a reference related to this research. And next to the fifth subchapter in introduction of the research. This research will focus on analyzing students' linguistic schemata, where the benchmarks are vocabulary and grammar. And this research also will focus on student external factors and internal factors that influence the development of linguistic schemata. And the last subchapter in introduction is definition of terms. I put three terms about this research. The first one is schemata. It refers to the knowledge that construct and maintain in human brain and needed to complete writing tasks. And the second is student linguistic schemata. It refers to the student previous linguistic knowledge that they have, and including make knowledge about vocabulary and also grammar. And the last is a sentence building. It is the process of constructing a sequence of words which express student idea. Okay, now we are going to the next chapter, literature review. The first subchapter in literature review is previous research, and for supporting this research, I used two similar researches, which the first one is conducted by Zoom in 2014, entitled "The Application of Schema Theory in Teaching College English Writing." And the second is conducted by Kim in 2016, which entitled "A Schema Theory Based Study on the Improvement of the College Students' English Writing." And both of these researchers are conducted to non-EFL students in China University, and in his research, Sun found that lack of schemata is one of the causes in writing ability, and student writing ability is increased by applying schema theory. The result is a little bit same with Kim results, where activating student schemata improves writing ability, and also linguistic schemata is more important than content and formal schemata. The conclusion is schemata are very influential on student writing ability, but two of these researchers didn't specifically research about linguistic schemata. And next we are going to the next sub-chapter in literature review, critical framework. In this part, I have 5 points as a reference. The first one is the explanation about sentence by Hornby in 1963, and the second point is the thinking process in writing. I used Noonan theory in 2003, and also Hendrawati in 2018. The next point is the types of schemata. For the explanation about schemata, I used Sun theory in 2014. And for the types of schemata, I used Carroll and Esther Holt's theory in 1983, where the types are content schemata, formal schemata, and linguistic schemata. The next point is the basic linguistic schemata for building sentence. I used Alderson theory in 1984, and for the last point is factors influencing the development of student linguistic schemata. I used Rahmawati theory in 2015. And now we are going to the last part in this research proposal, methodology. The first subchapter is design of the research. And considering to this research, I used the design of the descriptive qualitative research, and for the research setting, this research will be conducted in Muhammad University of Kendari and estimate time on January to February in this year. And for the subject of the research, I use propositive sampling to choose 9 freshmen of the English education department in the academic year 2021 to 2022 at Muhammad University of Kendari. And then for the instrument, I'll use a questionnaire for answer the first research question, and the kind of questionnaire is open-ended questionnaire. And for the second research question, I'll use interview, and the kind of interview is semi-structured interview. The next subchapter is technique of data collection. Of course, in questionnaire, the first step, I'll make a questionnaire and write it down on the Google Form and confirm the students to fill out the questionnaire, of course, with writing lecture permission. And for interview, the first step is I prepare some questions for students and conduct individual interview via online or offline, depending on the participant's situation. And for technique of the data analysis, I use 3 steps of analyzing by Mills et al. In 2014, where the first step is data condensation. Condensation in this part, I will reduce the data and find out the important thing. And the second step is data display. In this part, I will display the data in a brief description of the relevant and important matters. And the last is conclusion and verification. In this part, I look for meaning by using the use of key informants and verify the data. And the last part is generation of the data, the data. Data. I used Miles et al. In 2014, where triangulation of data from questionnaires and triangulation of theory from interview. I think that's all from my research proposal, and by that I conclude by saying wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.